Alright, hello everyone, it's Teamrocketdraws here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial, and for this video we're gonna do one of the most requested Pokemon, I gotta say. So yeah, we're gonna do Ninetails. As you guys can see on screen, this is how he ends up looking like, and if you guys notice, I didn't do it's not colored, it's just the basic outline, and that's just because I didn't like how it ended up. I did color it and it was just, I didn't like it whatsoever. So I'm just gonna show you guys the outline, and then maybe you guys could color it. So first of all, we're gonna start by doing a circle, and this is basically gonna be the head, so just make it any size. And like always, I use a spare piece of paper. I measure the length of the circle right here, I mark it off, I put a C for the circle, and then we're gonna mark it down the length of another one, and another one, and I go one more, but yeah, don't do this, guys. I went one too much. I do erase that in just a little bit. So basically you should only do 3 of those little lines, you know. So I mark it down 3, 4. It should be up to 4 only. That's where I noticed, I'm like, wait, why is there the 5th line? There shouldn't be a 5th line. So this is where I end up changing it. So I do erase it. So it should just be the length of 4 of the heads. This is what I noticed, and I erase it. And it's not easy. I don't know, guys. I thought he was gonna be easier, or I don't know if it's a he or a her, but it ended up being a little bit harder than I expected. Right there, 4. So it should be 4 and just a little bit more than 4. So I do that line going across the bottom, and that's just gonna help us know not to go lower than that, although one of the tails does go lower than that line, but you know, it's just gonna be there to help us. So now I'm gonna do it the other way around. So I'm just measuring the circle again, and it's the same size. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and 4 again. And right here I do the same thing. I go a little bit more than 4, but just make it 4, guys. You guys don't have to add that little bit in the end. And then just do another line going down, and that's just gonna help us know how big to do the tail, because we're just gonna do like a circle for the tail, and that's just gonna help us know how far to place it. Alright, so now for the body, just do this line right there, and then we're gonna, the other side of the neck starts a little bit higher, and this line right here goes up to that first line, or the number 2 that you guys see on the paper. Hopefully you guys can see it. I don't know if you guys can. And once it hits to that second line, we're gonna go down to the 3rd one. So right here I'm just showing like where the middle of the whole thing is, not in the middle of the head, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like where it connects to. It should be a little bit to the left of the middle of the circle. Now that we have that, we can just connect this side. And that's basically gonna be the neck, like the fur that Ninetails has on the neck, up to the neck, you know, the point. And so now we just need to do the rest of the body where he has the legs. So we're just gonna continue that same shape to around here, almost to that 4th line, just a bit before that 4th line. And then just continue that shape. And basically this is gonna be the body, like the rest of the body, where he has the legs. There we go. So just follow the same thickness of the shape that we did for the neck. Hopefully you guys know what I mean. If you guys look at the reference, you guys will see what I'm talking about. And that point that we did of the neck where the fur is, basically that's where his leg starts, like where the fur ends. And then the circle is gonna be his head, or her head. And now that we have that around here, the left side of the body, and it touches the head, we're gonna do just a rough sketch of the tail. The shape of the tail is basically like almost like a circle. And as you guys can see, we're just using those lines that we did to know how far to make it. And this one does go a little bit lower, like I said before, you guys. There we go, just a little bit lower than that line that we did before. So now that line is just gonna help us know where to place the tail. And in the end, I do make it the tail a little bit shorter than that, but it just helps us place it. And it's not a perfect circle, guys. Right here I cut the left corner. You guys don't have to, but that just makes it a little bit easier. because it's not a perfect circle. And right here I'm just showing you guys how high it goes. It roughly goes the length of another circle right there, as I'm pointing out right there. So that's how high that the tail should go. And the same thing goes for the hair on top of his head, but I make the hair a little bit higher than that, and I didn't notice that, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. Alright, so now that we have this, guys, this is gonna be the basic shape. From here on, we're gonna do all the details, like basically add everything. So we're gonna split the circle in two, in half both ways, so one going right in the middle, the other one going right in the middle sideways. And now that we have that, we're gonna start by doing the snout. So a little bit higher than that middle line, we're gonna do the snout, and just try to make it at the right angle. I think I make mine way too low compared to the reference a little bit higher than the way I do it, but it still turns out okay. And now right there where the circle meets the body, we're just gonna connect the snout right there, and the snout is basically the length of half of the circle. There we go. It might take you guys a couple tries to do this, but I think I got it the first time, so I was happy with it. I'm surprised that I got it the first time. Honestly thought I was gonna take a little bit longer to do the snout, just because I don't know, it's one of those hard things to do. So right in the middle at the top, we're gonna do another line the same length as the half of the circle once again, which should be, as I pointed out, right there, and then just connect it to the side of the circle right here, and just continue it with that line of the body of the neck. There we go. So now hopefully you guys start to see like the shape of a dog, the head of a dog. So now a little bit higher than the ear right there, we're gonna do this little puff, like basically the hair. And like I said before, it should be the same level as the tail, but right here, as you guys see there, I went way higher. So I do change that once I do my final drawing. For some reason I didn't notice that when I was doing the sketch. So yeah, so now right there where the ear meets the circle, we're just gonna do this line, and it goes up to where the circle ends at the bottom right there. That's how low this goes right there, roughly. It's not exactly, it's just an estimate. I do that line just to show you guys. And yeah, we're just gonna do the basic shape of the hair on top of her head. There we go. Like I said, I make it too big, guys, so I do change that later on. So right there around the middle of the ear, we're gonna do this line going straight to the right, and basically that's gonna be that long hair strand that she has. That's the little one. It connects to around here. I think I spent a lot of time doing this, guys. For some reason I had a hard time trying to get it the right shape once I do my final drawing. Remember, this is still a sketch, so if you guys want to get as close as you can to your final drawing, that way when you do your final drawing, you guys don't make that many changes. But yeah, right here went way too high than I had to, so I do end up changing it later on. So just make it lower, guys. Don't go that high like I did. I think it barely goes higher than the shape of the tail, so there we go. I think I just leave it like this. There we go. And now we're starting to see like the shape of a dog, at least I do. Alright, so now a little bit lower than the other ear, I do a line going across right there just to show you guys. We're gonna do the other ear just a little bit lower than the other one. Looks a little bit smaller too. I think I made mine bigger than the reference, but still it doesn't have to be 100% like the reference, guys. Alright, so now we're just gonna continue that line of the snout like this, and this is just gonna help us do the eye. So we're gonna do the top of the eye like this, and it goes almost to that line on the ear, like almost to that line going down the ear, and then we can just do the bottom. There we go. Now around here, we're just gonna do the mouth right there, and the line goes almost to the middle of the eye. If you guys look at the reference, you guys will know what I mean. And then he has the nose right there in the end, and it's probably like less than half the size of the eye, so you guys could use that as to compare to. Now we could just erase the circle. We don't need it no more, just to make it a little bit cleaner, guys. And remember, it's still a sketch, so we can make any changes later on. It's still pretty rough right now, so Alright, so now for the actual ear, the inside of the ear, it's a small line, and then around half the length of the ear, we're just gonna finish it off, connect at the top. Right there, I was just pointing out that the size of the ear and the inside is the same on the other side. Basically, just cut the ear in half, guys. The triangle shape. Alright. So now that we have that, we can start by doing one of the legs. So one of the legs starts around here. Just do a line right there, a little bit to the left of the point, like this. Right here, I'm just fixing the right there, like I wanted to extend it just a little bit more. Alright, so now we're gonna start by doing one of the tails. So around there, guys, just curve this line, and it gets pretty close to that point right there. It's a point out right there. I redid the point just so you guys can see it a little bit more clearly. So as you guys can see, it goes there's a small gap in between both of those, and then it just curves down like this, and it doesn't go further than the hair, guys, so just keep that in mind. Alright, so that's why I did that line going down the hair. You guys don't have to do that, it's just to remember, you know. Alright, so now on the outside of the body right there, the shape of the body that we did earlier, we're just gonna do this line that goes down right here. That's gonna be the other line, and it ends right like in the middle. If you guys do a straight line going the middle of where the point is at the top, it should roughly end around there. Alright, so now we could just do the finish off the other tail, and just send it at a point. Alright, and my video is lagging, guys, so if the audio and the video doesn't match up, that's why. Yeah, the video I'm looking at, it's laggy. So now for the other side of the tail, we're just gonna curve it like this, and then just connect it with this one. And it doesn't always line up, guys, the tail. So just look at the reference and just try to make it as close as you can. Right here, I try to curve it right there, but it doesn't really curve. The bottom of that tail should basically be flat almost. If you guys look at the reference, you guys will know what I mean. Right there, the left side of that tail is lower, way lower than it should really be. Right here, I'm just fixing this line because I noticed it doesn't look right, like the tail. And it doesn't always have to be the same as the reference. You guys can make it any way you guys want, but I wanted to get as close as I can. So right there, I cut part of the tail just to make it look a little bit better. There we go. So I just cut that bottom part. Don't forget to leave a like, guys. If you guys are planning to draw them, if you guys got this far, please leave a like. Support the channel, you know. Alright, so now around here, we're going to do the other tail, which starts right here at the top, almost connecting to the other tail right there, and then just curve it. And once again, it doesn't match up just like the reference. And that kind of bothers me, guys, that it didn't add up the same. But sometimes it just doesn't work out like that unless you pay extra attention and spend a little bit more time. But yeah, see right here, I made a mistake, guys. I do change this later on, that I'm making the gaps in between way too big. They're almost touching each other. If you guys look at the reference, you guys will know what I mean. So this line is basically like a straight line almost. It just goes a little bit higher at the end. It goes up a little bit like this, and then it curves back down. And the reason I'm doing this because it roughly lines up with right here with that area. So I do that line going across just to give you guys an example. There we go. So just use the circle that you did as a reference, And you guys don't have to follow it exactly, you know. If you guys didn't do the circle like to where you guys want to follow it, you guys could always change the tails, you know. That's there. We did that at the beginning just to give us an idea where to place them. Just because you guys did it there doesn't mean that the tail should be inside of there, you know what I mean. It all depends how it works out. So I make a lot of changes on the tails just because they didn't add up right. There we go. So now that we have that, we can start doing the other tail. And right there I was noticing that it roughly lines up with the snout, with the nose. So that's how high this one goes. And right there it curves, and then it goes up to that line, to the same level as the nose. So if you guys could do a line going across the nose, across the paper, that way you guys could get a better idea. You guys could just eyeball it, you know. It doesn't really matter as long as it's close. There we go. So now that we have this one, once again right here guys, you guys see that I went too high. I should have started a little bit lower. Those lines where the tail stars should be a lot closer to each other. I do change that later on. So now for this tail, I'm just gonna continue that. And yeah, it connects right there, but they should connect a little bit lower than I have it right there. I do change that later on just because it doesn't look right. There we go. But we're starting to see Ninetails now. So now for the other one. And this one, I know if you guys look at the reference, it goes up to that snout. Like it goes behind the snout a little bit. So that's what I try to do right there. And if you guys notice on my sketch right here, the tails look a lot thicker than they do on the reference. So right there, you see I made it way too high, guys. I should have make all those lines almost touching each other. Like they should all be together. Right there I made it way too high. But like I said, it's still a reference, so you know, just because it's a reference doesn't mean it's gonna stay. So that's where I noticed, I'm like, you know what, they look way too big, so let me just make this one and make it look a little bit better, you know. So I make that one a little bit bigger, that way it matches the other one, this one. And then I change this one so it can match the other one. So it's not gonna be the same for you guys. It all depends how you guys do it. So right here I'm just doing it on my drawing, but you guys don't have to copy me right here, you know. That's only if the same thing happened to you guys. So just look at the tails, you know. If something doesn't look right, then change it, you know. It doesn't have to be the way that you guys made it first. If you guys are not happy with it, go ahead and change it, you know. There's nothing wrong with that. And if it doesn't look like my sketch or the reference, there's nothing wrong with that. So now we're gonna do this line right there, which basically shows where the tail curves. There we go. And now that we have that, we just do this other one right here that goes right in the middle between that tail and the body. And once again right there, guys, I started off way too high in the body. It shouldn't be there. The gap is too big right there. So now the other tail right here, you can see like the outside or the white part. There's like nothing there in between that tail and the snout and the neck, you know. That's just a small shape. And right here I'm just erasing those reference lines, guys, that we did for the tail. We don't need those no more. Those were just there to help us know how big to do the tails, how far away, and it looks all right here, you know. But I do change the tails a little bit more once I do my final drawing, just to make them match a little bit more like the reference. Like I said, where the tail starts on the body right at the bottom, the gaps that I did the lines are too big, so I connect them a little bit more later on. Now for the other leg, right around there, it curves in a little bit. It's not a straight line going down, and it sticks out on the other side right there, and there's a small gap right there. It makes almost like a triangle shape. I erase the inside of that tail. And now for the other side of the leg, just connect it to the other one right there. Alright, so now that we have that leg, we could do the other one. Start that line right there. If you guys notice, there's a small gap in between both legs, and now this one's around here, and then the other leg starts right here. I started too high. They should start at the same level, so right there I do a line going across just to get just to place at the right area. So never mind, I thought I was gonna place it higher, but I guess I placed them at the same level. So those two legs should be on the same level, guys, or else it's just gonna look a little bit off. There we go. And now we can see right there the other side of the leg, the other leg, the hind leg a little bit. And yeah, and this is where I noticed, guys, that the tails, I made them wrong, because this part, this line right here is basically the outline of the other leg. And I noticed right there that right there it doesn't match up right here. That's a pointer right there, so I do erase those. I guess I do that right now. I thought I did that, but I do change that more later on. So they should all end up almost a little bit lower than I placed them. Yeah, you see, there we go. But I do make it a lot better later on, guys. Yep, this is what I meant. If you guys didn't know what I was saying, that's what I meant. I do change that later on, make it a lot better. And we're pretty much done, guys. The only thing we need to do now is just add all the small details. For example, on the fur, right there. And basically that's it. Just go over your drawing, guys, make any small changes just to make it any better. Right here, I start doing the little hair. Right here, I recommend that you guys look at the reference just to get a better idea of how it looks. But hopefully you guys know what I'm talking about just by looking at the reference and on my drawing. Alright, guys, so I think we're pretty much done. The only thing that you guys need to do now is just go over your drawing. If something doesn't look right, make sure to go ahead and make any changes. For example, like I said, I changed the hair on top of the head a little bit. I made it too high, too big, so I do change that. Also do the tails a little bit better. Like I try to place them a little bit better, because now that I know where they are, any changes that I make will just make it better, you know. Now I know where to place things just by having the tails there. So I do change them, not that much. You guys will see the changes that I do make once I show you guys my final drawing, because I did erase the lines, but even though I erased them, you guys can still see them. So you guys will see any changes that I made in just a little bit. So hopefully your drawing came out good. And yeah, this is my final drawing, guys. It looks a little bit better. Basically it's still the same sketch, but I just erased the whole line. It just looks a little bit more cleaner, you know. I added the details. I made it a little bit better, in other words. So if you guys look at the tails, I changed the shape of them a little bit. They're still the same, you know, they're in the same spot, but I changed the lines a little bit, the curves, you know, right there where the tail starts. I made it a little bit better. Before I had them way higher, now they're on the right spot. And also the hair, like I said before, I did change that. If you guys look at look closely, I don't know if you guys will be able to see the lines where I had them before, but I just did them a little bit lower. What else did I change? I think that's it. I didn't make that many changes, guys. I like where I placed everything. So yeah, so just go over your drawing, make any changes. Usually what a lot of people do is that they outline once they do their sketch, right, they finish their sketch, make any changes on their sketch, they outline their drawing in a pen or in a Sharpie, you know, and then they just erase the lines, and they're left with something like this, but in pen or Sharpie. But I just erased my whole drawing. Like I could still see the lines, but yeah, and then I just go over them, you know, make any changes that I need to make just to make it a little bit better. And the reason I erased the whole thing is just to make it look a little bit cleaner, you know. The final outline or the final drawing, it just makes it look a little bit cleaner. But even though it's the same sketch, but you know, doing the thin lines just makes it a little bit better. But yeah, guys, I didn't make that many changes. Like I said, I just did the tails and the top of the head, the hair on her head, and I think that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the tutorial, guys. Like I said, I did color it. I didn't like how it came out, so I'm not gonna show you guys. And I was doing a speed part of the video because I recorded myself coloring it and I was gonna put it in on the video, but since it didn't come out good, I'm not gonna show you guys. But yeah, so here's the final drawing, guys. We were close. We're not exactly like the reference, but I think we're really close. So hopefully your drawing came out great too. And if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave in the comment section. If you guys have any requests for any Pokemon that you guys want me to do, you guys could always leave a comment in the comment section. But remember, it might take a while for me to do your requests, since there's just so many requests out there that you guys did. And I just want to thank all you new subscribers. I have, I think, 1,180 subscribers as of this video, so that's a lot. So I just want to thank all of you guys. And yeah, I'll try to do as many videos as I can, do as many Pokemon as I can, and hopefully my tutorials are helpful. So leave any feedback on the comment section. Let me know how my video is. Let me know what I could do, what I could change, you know, just to make my videos a little bit better. I know they're a little bit long, guys, but when I say step by step, I mean step by step. So I want to show you guys everything. I'm not gonna cut any parts out or speed up parts, you know. I want to show you guys step by step and try to talk to you guys what I did and what I do, you know. So hopefully that's just a little bit better. So I just want to thank you guys. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe for more Pokemon drawing tutorials. I have like 120 tutorials as of this video, you know, so make sure to go check out my channel. Maybe there's one that you want to do, and if there's not, just draw them, you know. That way you can have like a whole collection of like a lot of Pokemon that you guys have drawn, you know, just by following my video. So remember that you guys could always send your drawings by sending them in. The links will be in the description, just like the ones you saw in this video, you know. And yeah, so I just want to thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Team Rocket Draws out.